So in August 2011, there were a lot of riots in the UK. The reasons for which are still kind of unclear, but they started in London and then they spread to other cities like Manchester and Birmingham, and it was really terrifying. And there was talk at the time of, you know, the army being brought in. It was properly scary. It looked like there was a civil war, and it was all what was happening, and also the response to it was very upsetting and kind of really depressing. And I felt completely overwhelmed. And for me, this was sort of it was kind of the last straw. I felt a little bit overwhelmed. You know, when you're watching the news, sometimes it's like there's a war here, there's a war there. Somebody's kicked a dog, someone else has mugged a grandma in a park. You know, it's just. Then there's disease, and you know how you can feel really overwhelmed by the news. And this felt like that, but again, I'm right on my doorstep. And I couldn't think of what I could do. I thought, I don't know how to respond to this as a human being. I've no idea what I could possibly do to make this big thing better. I don't know what I can do about war. I don't know what I can do about global warming. I don't. So the next day, when the riots had started to calm down a little bit, I was in the post office in this kind of thoughtful mood, and there was a young man in front of me in the queue at the post office, and he was hoping to buy some stamps for his driving licence application. He was super excited, but he'd forgotten his money, which is something we've all done. So I paid for his stamp, and he was incredibly grateful for me paying for his stamp. And I kind of thought about that, and I thought, gosh, that was really easy for me to make him really happy, and it didn't take me very. It was like 50 pence, and it took me a couple of seconds. So I decided completely spontaneously, I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this every day. Yeah, I'm going to try and do something kind for a stranger every single day. And so I started the next day, and I kind of made these little rules myself. Like I wanted to try and do something different every day, which I didn't do, because 366 days, it was a leap year, is a lot of different things. And I thought I want to do it to lots of different people, so it's not only people that I like the look of, it's kind of all sorts of different people. So that's how the journey started for me. And initially I was just putting it on Facebook so that my family and my friends knew the kinds of things that I was doing. And then it completely took over my entire life. Just to say, I work in a theatre, so my background is as an actor and a playwright in the theatre, so I was kind of carrying on doing that. But then this acts of kindness thing became huge, and I got loads of followers on Twitter, and it was overwhelming response to it, and had some very interesting conversations with a rabbi that I met on the bus, and I met this vicar who was telling me about his relationship with kindness, and all sorts of different people. And then when the year was up, because I'd made this promise, I thought, okay, yeah, well done, I've done the year. And I didn't do it for a couple of days or consciously, and then I found I really missed it, and I think I realised that it had, to my surprise, it completely changed me, even though it wasn't like I was evil before. I wasn't. I didn't go around like kicking people or stealing. I was, nice, but I think because I brought it into my consciousness, it changed everything, absolutely everything. And the main thing that it did was that it gave me back hope, and it made me hopeful for human beings, and it made me see the good in people. And that's that's invaluable, to see the good and to understand that, of course, there are lots of bad things that happen, and those stories break on the news because they've happened, but actually there's hundreds of other stories that are full of kindness and goodness and people being wonderful to each other, and those stories are actually more frequent. But man being nice to a lady on the bus isn't a headline in the same way that violent fight is. It's not a headline. So that happened, and then I made a play about it for adults, a show about it, which is toured nationally, called 366 Days of Kindness. I've done lots of public speaking about kindness, mainly for adults. I did some very big events, one called Coattails, when I asked people to donate coats and write a letter to put in the pocket of the coat to the person that they thought would be receiving the coat. And that went all over the country.
Which is one of the things in your book.
So then I'm in Brighton, and I do a show regularly in Brighton, and I was just hanging out, and my friend said, who worked for a children's publisher, she said, "What would you like to write a book for children about this?" And I'd never considered that, And I have made lots of children's shows, but I've not written a children's book before. And initially I was like, no. I kind of went, oh yeah, like that. So does that make me orange? Yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, I want it to be green. It's my favourite colour. So, yeah, and then I thought, that's amazing, because I tried to do lots of different things during the year to keep my interest. I had lots of fun things that are quite crafty, because I'm quite crafty, and I mean that in a paper sense, not in a crafty sense. So I thought, yeah, it'd be really good fun, and also I thought, what an amazing thing to be able to do, to talk to kids about that, who I think are good at that kind of thing anyway, and to try and make it fun and a little bit cheeky, so that they can think it's fun instead of a sort of serious thing. So yeah, so that's how the book Do Nice, Be Kind, Spread Happy came about. And the children's response to it, both in the UK and here in the States, has been completely overwhelming. They understand it, they very quickly respond with their own ideas, which is great, that are better than mine, which was fine. It's great. And it feels like a really positive, really hopeful thing to do. I think it's got quite a wide age range. I guess I was thinking about 8-year-olds, because most of the things I tried out, although I'd done them all myself, I tried with my friend's daughter who's 8, but then I did also do a lot of them with my nephew who's 3 and my godchildren. So I think it's got quite a wide age range. It's a thing that kids can do with their parents and with their younger brothers and sisters. There are small things, which I think it's really important to be able to have really simple, small, free, not taking up loads of busy parents' time. And there are more ambitious things, and I think there are things that could work in classrooms or in other kind of groups as well. So yeah, I'm just really pleased that it's had such a brilliant response. It's been amazing. I've had a week in Colorado so far, and a wonderful day with Jennifer here. And I'm really cheered and overwhelmed by the response. And I think being kind every day is easy. And it's good to bring it into your conscious, to think, and it's good for children to think, what can I do today that's kind, to take the opportunities, and also to think about being grateful and thankful for kindnesses that are done to you. So yeah, everything about it's great, and I don't mean that as everything about me that I've done is great. Everything that's happening around it has been wonderful, and I hope that it spreads throughout all of the states, not just the 2 that I visited. But also I wanted to say, and I mean this really sincerely, it feels like that the book feels like it's with the right company, because what I've heard about Usborne as a company and everybody I've met, there seems to be kindness in the structure of what you do, and support and love in the structure of what you do. So it feels like it's in exactly the right home. I'm going to stop talking now.
It is in the right home.